Welcome back to the Moto Gumption YouTube channel with me, Ishmael Barrientos, and welcome back to my hot and humid garage on another glorious hot summer Kansas day. Now, as you can see over here, we have our parts and our tools set out to redegree the stock cams for the supercharger. Let's get to it, guys. So first things first is, let's just look at this right here. We have a degree wheel that will be used to help indicate and to show our movement of degrees on the cams, all right? I do have my cam degrees we're putting it to, which will be 105 degrees for the exhaust side and 105 degrees for the intake side. All right, next you can see here we have our cams and our caps. We have as well as a magnetic base, all right, with a way to mount a dial indicator. Now this dial indicator measures in thousandths of an inch. I wish it did tenths, but this one reads in thousandths of an inch. As you can see, as this prong goes up and down, it will give you a measurement. Now this will be used to keep track of the center of the cam lobe. We also have this right here, which is a piston stop. This will help us indicate top dead center of our piston 1. First things first that we need to do, guys, is we're gonna have to change out these cam sprockets. Now this cam sprocket right here is an adjustable one, so we have to just rotate this. Now if you see very closely right there, these do have dimples in them, but these aren't actually used for timing at all on this cam, which is surprising. Now I have read over the book and they're not used, which is good, but slightly bad because I don't know exactly where to start. The first thing is if you see this slot right here, all right, we're gonna be rotating this bolt into these slots. That way there's a little bit extra play for us to rotate our cam and get the degrees that we are wanting. They do have it on both. Now this is a later Gen 2 FZ1. Now the earlier ones did not come with an adjustable cam sprocket, okay? Good thing we don't have to buy some new adjustable cam sprockets. Saved me a little bit of money. Now, let's get to it, guys. You don't need to see that, but if you want, I'll just record it anyways, do a time lapse. Let's get to it.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
That wasn't so bad now, was it? Now, from here, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna go ahead and take the cams. We're going to actually throw them back into the engine. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the stock cam timing, but from there, we're gonna make our adjustments on the cam rotation with the crank and go from there. Well, somebody wasn't thinking. Remember when I put those spark plugs in? Well, had to take them out. You know, you don't wanna be making compression there when you're trying to rotate the engine. You want as little resistance as needed, so took those bad boys out. Plus I need to get to that cylinder 1 piston and get top dead center. So let's do that real quick. Now these caps have to go back in the original position, so right, if you can see here, the arrow will point to the right side of the engine, and right side of the engine is actually on the cam sprocket side. So that way all the wear patterns are in the same and correct positions. All right, wish me luck. I wish I had a camera guy. Let's get back to it. Sorry for the same view that you guys see all the time. moment of truth. So we have the cams on, we have all the cap nuts tightened and torqued to spec, we have the sprockets tightened and torqued to spec, we have the cam tensioner tightened and torqued to spec. I avoided all that boring stuff, so we're gonna go ahead and start rotating the engine and seeing if anything hits. Gosh, I hope not. But we're gonna go ahead and do this now. All right, everything looks good, guys. Sad part is we didn't degree anything. We just put it to the stock timing so we can degree stuff. So, okay, so we're done with the tedious task of taking off the crank bolt. It's not so hard to do with two people, but with one person, it's pretty much impossible. So you have to come up with a little helping hand. So in this case, we use the strap. Next, we're gonna go ahead and affix the degree wheel with the head stud. All right, good thing it's the same thread and it's long enough that it's not gonna be in the way of any parts. And there we are. So you could use the method of using the gear, okay, on the timing chain there to get the top dead center. Well, it's only approximate, okay? So we want to get true top dead center. So what we can either do is you can stick an indicator, a dial indicator into the cylinder and rotate the assembly until it lets you know when the piston comes up, and then it goes all the way down. Well, not all the way down, but it starts falling again. Or you can use what is a piston stop. Okay, so this goes ahead and it threads inside of the where the actual spark plug would go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. We're gonna use cylinder number 1, which is where we're gonna be taking our timing off of anyways. Like so. It's a snug little fit, not too bad. All right, so from there, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna rotate the assembly. The piston's gonna come up, and I'm gonna do it very slow. The piston's gonna come up, it's gonna touch that stop. From that right there, I'm gonna get a reading on the degree wheel, all right? Then I'm gonna go in complete reverse, okay, reverse order. The piston's gonna come down, the piston's gonna come right back up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get those two numbers, divide it by 2, and then on that wheel over there, I'm gonna go into between what that number is. So, oh yes, and how could I forget? I forgot I needed a wire. So a lot of times people use a coat hanger or just a piece of welding rod or something like that and bend it with a sharp point, and that way you have something to point at your degree wheel and be very precise. Mainly they just tie it to the engine itself, the case or something, you know, put a bolt or just some way that it doesn't move. All I have here is 40 thousandths diameter condition A steel wire, so but it's a little flimsy. So what I did was I just tied it up, you know, just go ahead and braided it real quick. Just gave it a sharp little point right here, and it should do the trick. Gave it a little loop so I can actually put a bolt on there, or put a bolt through it, tie it down, and let's check it out, guys. Now that we got it set for straight 0, we can go ahead and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just leave the second one with a 90 degree. That way we have a reference point. This is directly 0, and at 90 degrees, this will be set. So if nothing moves, it's nice to have a control number when working stuff like this. Hey there, guys. And well, if you look right down there, that's my glorious work all down the drain, going by, flashing by at 25 times the speed. So what I decided to do was start completely over on degreeing the cams. I only could get the intake to 108, I needed 105. Exhaust side, I got to 105, like 7.5 I believe it was, very close, good enough. But in order to do both correct, you have to start completely over, and that's what I'm doing today. Well, I'm splicing this video in to give you guys the heads up on what's going on with all that stuff. So, I waited a few days, recouped my mental status because it was a really frustrating thing, and started all the way back over. So, here we go. All right, so I did not like the results I got for the intake side and degreeing the cam. So as you can see, I'm new day, new attire. So what I'm gonna do is I pondered on it and thought, okay, what could I have done to make it right, okay? So the adjustability of those slots on the cam gears is where I think I messed up. Not messed up, just started on the wrong side. So if you look here, yes, I took everything apart and I'm restarting on the degreeing. Now, all right, I think we got it. I'm actually pretty happy about this because I'm glad I went back in and did all that hours of work. Anyways, so if you take a look here, we have 4.5 before top dead center, 36 after bottom dead center. So if you add the two, you get 40.5, add your 180, divide by 2 gives you 110.75. And then you subtract, or sorry, 25, and you subtract your 4.5 equals 105.75. I know the goal was 105, but realistically, I'm not going to be adjusting it. There's not going to be much of a difference, actually performance-wise, but from what we did have it at to this, there will be a dramatic change. So 105.75 is the final, and we're done with this. I'll be editing this video tonight, all right? So the next thing I'm gonna do is putting on the top of the engine. We're gonna go ahead and put the engine back in its proper orientation on the bike. We're gonna go ahead and start fixing the throttle bodies back to the engine, putting the fuel system together, and then we're gonna go ahead and finally, I keep on saying we're gonna mess with this R1 shock. Finally, we're gonna get to the R1 shock and put that on, and then we're gonna start mounting that supercharger very, very soon. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. I'll see you on the next one.